That's right. I moved out to the Bay Area about, well, exactly a little over 30 years ago. And when I first moved out here to do my graduate work at Cal in history of art, I spoke to somebody at the then University Art Museum, now Berkeley Art Museum. I was working at the National Endowment for the Arts at the time before I came out here to do graduate work. And I asked one of the people who worked there, who had applied for a grant that I was administering at the NEA, whether there would be a possibility that I could work at the museum at Berkeley if I decided to come to school here. And he said, absolutely, you can do whatever you want. You can work for whoever you want as long as you get work-study funds. And I was accepted to Cal, and I did manage to get work-study, and I went to work for a really extraordinary curator who was here at the time, Mark Rosenthal, who went on to work at the Philadelphia Museum of Art and the National Gallery of Art and a number of other major institutions in the United States. And that was a wonderful part of my education, was working at the museum here for about 6 years. Anyway, I worked for Lynn Orr up for several years in the early 1990s, and I was absolutely surprised and delighted when I heard from Susan asking me if I'd be interested in doing this. And one of the reasons that I really wanted to participate teaching this class is that I really, because I spent so much time working in museums, I really didn't have an opportunity to get training to teach. So this is going to be my first opportunity to do that. And I think one of the reasons that Lynn thought of me is that I do have approximately 30 plus years of experience working in a number of major art museums, not just the museum in Berkeley, but also I did an internship at the Guggenheim Museum in New York, and I worked at the museum when I was in college at Cornell University, and subsequent to working in Berkeley, I've worked at the Fine Arts Museums of San Francisco with Lynn in administration and in curatorial work, as well as at the SF MoMA and a number of nonprofit artist organizations in San Francisco. Anyway, with respect to this exhibition, and I got very excited about a couple of things that new colleagues said here about photography and architecture. This exhibition that is coming to the Fine Arts Museums at the end of May is actually is one of two exhibitions that is being sent over the next year to the Fine Arts Museums from the Musée dOrsay in Paris. The Musée dOrsay in Paris, and I would think that a number of you here have visited there, focuses on 19th century art, and they are renovating their galleries and are sending out some of the masterpieces from their collection to San Francisco. So in addition to covering kind of the nuts and bolts of Impressionism and artists that exhibited as Impressionists, what really interests me are the intersections between the art itself and the way that it has been exhibited and interpreted by art historians and critics, dealers, collectors, and viewers through the past 135 years. I am aware it's going to be an extremely popular exhibition. One of the wonderful things about our course is that we are working with the Fine Arts Museums to arrange for docent-led tours to our group when the museum galleries are closed to the public. And I know that this exhibition is going to be hugely popular, and just the opportunity to visit when the galleries will be less crowded will be a very special thing. There's so much else that I'd like to say, but my time is up. I'm just going to read one quote about the Impressionist group of artists that will be included in this exhibition, that include Degas, Renoir, Manet, Monet, Caillebotte, Whistler, we're going to have, they will be borrowing the very famous Whistler's Mother by Whistler, who was an American expatriate artist in Paris during the time. Émile Zola, one of the contemporary critics, wrote, "I believe I've already spoken about the small group of painters who call themselves Impressionists. To me, this term seems unfortunate, but it is nonetheless undeniable that these Impressionists, since they themselves insist upon the name, are at the head of the modern movement." And really what we're going to look at critically is the way that this very popular group of artists for our generation has been perceived not only by their contemporaries, but the way that, because the work has been so accessible to 20th century audiences, what else does this say what does it say about the pieces that are being selected by the museum in France, the way that the exhibition will be hung in San Francisco, the popularity of it, and we're going to look at things that changes in French society in the late 19th century, such as the birth of photography, how that affected the popularity of these artists. Thanks very much, and we're going to be having our class in this space, so we're well subscribed, I understand, but we have lots of room for more people, and I hope that you'll join us. Thanks.
Elise, thank you.